What's up, guys? It's me, Doc, from SampleKings.com, and we're going to talk about and deal with our MPC today, our MPC One Plus. So let's get started here. What I've got going on here is pretty much one beat. So I got a beat. I'll play this beat back. Hit my play start button. This is the beat. We're going to talk about mixing today and mixing inside your MPC to get a really nice, thick sound. And we've got this right here. That's a drum bus. That's where I send all my drums to, constantly. So what will happen generally if you're using a beat, you got a beat maybe and you got some samples or some keyboards and a bass line or whatever going on, I got that. The music stuff, I don't want to hear that stuff first. I want to get the drums right where they should be. If I'm doing club, rock and roll, doesn't make a difference. And so here in this case, we got a bass drum, pretty hard, a snare drum too as well. So what I'm doing here is making sure they have a good enough level, each one of them. I'll come to here, I'll hit that track select right there, track mix or pad mix. Hit it twice, that's pad mix. You hit it once too if you want, or hit shift and hit that also, and you're there. Now once you're there, you'll see here, of course, that I've got all the tracks selected here. Now if I hit this pad number 8, you'll see here, 8 through 16 is muted. All those are actually musical instrument parts or just samples. I'll hit pad 1. And so pad 1, you can see the first 8 here, we are seeing here in the pad mix. So let me get my levels proper here. Now sometimes too, you'll see stuff, let's see me double tap one of these here, and you'll see stuff like this. You know, I'm here, I'm at minus 7.42 dB there, right? I can come to here, I'm gonna double tap here. Now we're back here at 0 dB. That's because I want to keep it within that range of 0 dB. I can pull it down too. Maybe want to keep it right there. Okay, I'll tap it here twice and I'm back here. That's a great way to see the track itself and see how loud it is. Not really the track, but the pad, but of course, it looks like tracks here on our MPC. We want to get our levels proper. We want to hear them. This is so important, really so important here. Now, why I like to use the pad mixer, everything's here. I have volumes here, and I prefer to be here where it says pan and volume. While here it's just volume only. I want to see both. Get an idea what's going on. You'll see here I've got this element pan all the way here to the right. But they all sound like they're in the middle because these samples are taken from records and it's almost panned too much to the right. So I pan it all the way to the left so I can get these to look like they're evened out. See those almost evened out here, right? I can get this one, come there, like that, double tap here. Now it's too much that way. So I'll go to here. Now you see, I guess a little bit of hill here. See that? There's no hill anymore, it's just straight flat. And he's like flat now. And you see how I got it panned here. So obviously it's too much to the left, so I made sure I get that sound right. It's always important to have your panning perfect. Especially if you want to pan something one way or the other way. So my main thing here is this. These two sounds, they're really important. And currently they're not really doing it for me. So you want to make sure you can EQ those sounds up too as well. So what I'll do here, get them back in the mix like this. I like to add some effects to them. So I'll go to here to effects, and I have effects already set up for us, of course, did some homework. So obviously I want to use something on these tracks. I prefer to use, and I prefer you to probably use, if you want to try this, always use probably a channel strip, because Air makes a channel strip that we can use. Their channel strip is pretty cool. You put it in there, it has a compressor, it's got an EQ in there, you know, it's got the volume levels in there, expander. You can do whatever you want to do inside of that one plugin. It's got 4 different elements you can actually use, which is great. I'm using a plugin here too, one here, it's a boom. That's channel strip. I'll come to this one. I'll turn it on. So I got it tighter. I made more of the EQ, bring out that bounce inside the kick drum. I'll come to here. I want that snap and snare. So I get the mid-range, I get the top end. I want to make sure the high mids are snappy popping on there. You got to make sure too. You got to make sure too you have an EQ chart. If you don't know what I'm talking about, get an EQ chart and find out what's the sweet spot for snares and kicks. Now I also want to get a transient in there. The air transient will help us get to where that pop is at, the peak of the transient, and highlight it. That's pretty cool. Now I'll solo those guys out. I like that. Pretty cool. So other elements here, I want to put some other kicks in. These are just ghost kicks. Not bad. Here's another ghost right here. This is a different one. Just this one. You listen to this one right here. That's what that one is. Oh, good. That's a great setting. Tap in here again. Let's go back out of that. There we go. So I got two other bass drums in here too as well. To give it that bounce of pump, that bottom some more. Because the snare drum stands by itself. Nothing's in the way of that. Now, I will get rid of all these solos. And now it sounds really good. You get that nice feel to it. Now there's one thing I want to do next here. And we'd like to get a compressor on this sucker. So all these sounds are going to the same track output. And to get this rocking that way, this is how we're going to do this. I'm going to go back here to the main. I'm going to open up right here. Tap right there. And you can see here, from here we see here that we are in the program or the track. And right here we have the master, which is the master output. So on my drum bus right here, I have a compressor. I'm tightening it up. I want to get it slamming. Like this. It's squashing it, it's getting it right in there. I got some room in there. I want that snare drum to pop. I can also adjust it in the mix if I want to. I go right back here to my pad mixer. Hit that button 2 times. I'm right here. Well, I got my panning right here. And I also got my level. I can bring it down if I want. Got my knob. I like that. That's banging. I'm not done yet. Because the thing is, I want to have this sort of like EQ. All these frequencies are in there. So it's sort of like they're compressed, but get the EQ so it's just right. So I've got an EQ for the overall mix. We go back to the main screen now. Now we're in the main screen. We want to select one more thing. And it's important to have on your mix output, your master output, some sort of EQ, maybe some sort of widening effect, a widening image widener. That'll help you out. There's one already in the MPC that's called stereo width or something. That helps you widen the mix out too. In this case, we're going to use an EQ. First of all, get ourselves correct on the kind of EQ we want to use for the overall mix. Here it comes. That's just an EQ. I'm EQing the frequencies I want. Now I get to here. I know I'm too loud. But it's banging. The sound is there. It's hard hitting. And this is what you want to achieve inside our MPC. You must make it sound like it's a record. Somewhere you gotta learn the idea that when someone hears this, they can actually know it's bouncing. Makes it easier. Now once I do all that, it's easy to add the other elements in. I just come back and want to add the music in. I can go right back into, let's say, pad mix. Here on pad mix, I hit my pad right there. I gotta turn the sounds off, or I'll turn the mutes off. Banging. That's how you do it.